Elon Musk, a billionaire success story. Before the rockets that thundered into orbit and the electric cars that reshaped the automobile industry, there was simply a restless boy with a powerful imagination and an unusual belief that the future could be engineered. The life of Elon Musk is not merely the story of a billionaire accumulating wealth. It is the unfolding journey of a relentless dreamer determined to bend science, business, and technology toward bold possibilities once considered impossible. From a quiet childhood in Pretoria to the commanding heights of global innovation through companies such as Tesla and SpaceX, Musk's path reveals a rare combination of audacity, risk, and stubborn persistence. His story moves through dramatic failures, astonishing breakthroughs, and controversial moments, yet it always circles back to a single driving question that has guided his life. How far can human ingenuity go if someone dares to try what others call impossible? A curious boy in Pretoria. The story begins in Pretoria on the 28th of June 1971. Elon Musk was born to a South African electromechanical engineer, pilot and property developer, Elon Musk, and a Canadian-born model and dietitian, May Musk. His parents later divorced when he was still young, and Musk spent much of his childhood living with his father in South Africa. Growing up, he was known to be intensely introverted and intellectually curious. Musk often spent hours reading science fiction, fantasy novels, and encyclopedias. Books such as The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams had a profound influence on his thinking, especially the idea that humanity could solve enormous problems through creativity and science. At school, Musk was often quiet and deeply absorbed in his thoughts. He attended Pretoria Boys High School and several other local schools during his childhood. Although he excelled academically, he was sometimes bullied by classmates because of his reserved nature. Rather than discouraging him, these experiences pushed him further into the world of books, computers, and imagination. By the age of 10, Musk had become fascinated with computers, which were still rare and expensive at the time. He taught himself programming using manuals for the Commodore VIC-2. Within a short period, he was already writing his own code. At just 12 years old, Musk created a simple space-themed video game called Blastar. He submitted the program to a technology publication called PC and Office Technology, which purchased the game for about $500 and published the code in its pages. The amount was modest, but the achievement was remarkable for a young teenager teaching himself to code in his bedroom. The episode revealed an early pattern in Musk's life. Curiosity drove him to experiment, and experimentation often led to tangible results, leaving home to chase opportunity. During his teenage years, Musk began to look beyond South Africa for opportunities. The country in the late 20th century faced political tensions and limited technological prospects compared with the rapidly growing digital industries elsewhere. Musk became convinced that the future of technology and entrepreneurship was centered in North America. At 17, he left South Africa and moved to Canada, partly because his mother was Canadian, which allowed him to obtain citizenship more easily. In 1989, he enrolled at Queen's University in Kingston. Life there was not luxurious. Musk supported himself with temporary jobs and shared accommodation with other students. During this period, he developed a strong interest in economics, engineering, and energy systems. Friends later recalled that Musk frequently spoke about building technologies that could transform society, particularly renewable energy and space exploration. After 2 years at Queen's University, Musk transferred to University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. There he pursued two demanding academic paths simultaneously. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree in physics from the University of Pennsylvania School of Arts and Sciences and a Bachelor of Science degree in economics from the Wharton School. The dual training exposed him to both scientific reasoning and financial strategy. Even as a student, Musk displayed a strong entrepreneurial instinct. Together with a friend, he rented a large house and turned it into an unofficial nightclub on weekends, charging entrance fees to fellow students. The small venture helped pay his living expenses while also demonstrating his willingness to experiment with business ideas. After graduating in 1995, Musk briefly enrolled in a PhD program in applied physics at Stanford University. However, he left after only 2 days, convinced that the exploding internet industry offered far greater opportunities than academic research. Silicon Valley and the first startup. In 1995, Musk arrived in Palo Alto, located in the center of Silicon Valley. The internet boom was just beginning, and entrepreneurs were rushing to build digital businesses that would reshape communication, commerce, and media. Together with his younger brother, Kimball Musk, Elon launched his first serious startup, Zip2. The company aimed to help newspapers create digital versions of city guides that included maps, business directories, and advertising. The early days of the company were extremely difficult. Musk and his brother had limited financial resources and often worked long hours developing software. According to several accounts, Elon Musk sometimes slept on the office couch and used a local public facility for showers while working nearly nonstop. Despite the hardships, the idea behind Zip2 proved valuable. At a time when most newspapers had little understanding of the internet, Zip2 provided the technology that allowed them to publish online directories and maps for readers. The startup eventually secured investment from the venture capital firm More Davido Ventures, which helped expand the business. Zip2 began providing services to major newspapers such as the New York Times and Chicago Tribune. The company grew rapidly as traditional media organizations attempted to establish their presence on the internet. In 1999, the technology company Compaq acquired Zip2 for approximately $307 million in cash. Musk personally received about $22 million from the sale because of his shareholding. For a young entrepreneur in his 20s, the outcome was extraordinary. At only 27 years old, Elon Musk had already become a millionaire. Yet instead of retiring or slowing down, he immediately began planning his next venture, convinced that the internet revolution had only just begun, reinventing online payments. Instead of settling into a comfortable life after the sale of Zip2, Elon Musk immediately began searching for the next technological frontier. In 1999, he invested a large portion of the money he had earned from the Zip2 sale into a new internet banking company called X.com. At the time, online financial services were still a risky idea. Many people were hesitant to trust the internet with sensitive financial information. Musk, however, believed that digital payments would eventually replace traditional banking methods such as checks and physical transfers. X.com aimed to provide a fully online financial platform where customers could open accounts, send money, and make payments entirely through the internet. The startup grew quickly, but also faced intense competition. One of its biggest rivals was a company called Confinity, founded by entrepreneurs including Peter Thiel and Max Levchin. Confinity had created a digital payment system that allowed people to transfer money through email. Recognizing that competition could slow both companies down, X.com and Confinity merged in 2000. The merged company gradually focused its strategy on the digital payment system that customers preferred most. That service became known as PayPal. PayPal quickly became one of the most widely used online payment systems in the world, particularly among sellers and buyers on the rapidly expanding online marketplace eBay. The service allowed users to send money securely with only an email address, which was revolutionary at the time. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for about $1.5 billion in stock. As the company's largest shareholder, Musk received approximately $180 million from the sale. This financial success provided him with the capital needed to pursue much larger and riskier ambitions. Instead of building another internet startup, Musk began thinking about transforming entire industries, a vision beyond Earth. After the PayPal acquisition, Musk began focusing on a passion that had fascinated him since childhood: space exploration. In 2002, he founded SpaceX, formerly known as Space Exploration Technologies Corporation. The company was established in El Segundo near Los Angeles. Musk believed that space travel had become far too expensive and inefficient under traditional aerospace systems. His goal was to design reusable rockets that could dramatically reduce launch costs and make human exploration of space far more practical. In the early years, SpaceX struggled intensely. Building rockets required enormous engineering expertise and financial resources. Musk invested much of his personal fortune from the PayPal sale into the company. The first rocket developed by SpaceX was called the Falcon 1. Between 2006 and 2008, the company attempted several launches from a remote site on Amalek Island. The first 3 launches failed due to technical problems, including engine failure and fuel system issues. Each failure cost millions of dollars and placed enormous pressure on the young company. By 2008, SpaceX was close to collapse. Musk later revealed that the company had enough resources for only one more launch attempt. If the fourth Falcon 1 mission failed, SpaceX would likely shut down. In September 2008, the fourth launch succeeded. Falcon 1 became the first privately developed liquid fuel rocket to reach orbit around Earth. The achievement immediately changed the reputation of SpaceX within the aerospace industry. Shortly afterward, the company secured a major contract from NASA through the Commercial Resupply Services Program to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. This contract provided financial stability and confirmed that a private company could compete in the highly specialized field of space flight, betting everything on electric cars. While developing SpaceX, Musk was simultaneously becoming involved in another bold technological venture. In 2004, he invested heavily in a young electric vehicle company called Tesla, founded by engineers including Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Musk became the company's largest investor and chairman of the board. His vision was to accelerate the global transition from fossil fuel vehicles to sustainable electric transport. At the time, electric cars were widely considered slow, unattractive, and impractical. Musk believed advanced battery technology could change that perception. Tesla's first production vehicle was the Tesla Roadster. Introduced in 2008, the Roadster was based on a lightweight sports car platform and powered by a lithium-ion battery pack that allowed it to travel more than 300 kilometers on a single charge. This range was unprecedented for an electric vehicle at the time. The Roadster also demonstrated impressive acceleration, proving that electric cars could compete with high-performance petrol vehicles. Despite the technological breakthroughs, Tesla faced severe financial challenges during its early years. The global financial crisis of 2008 placed enormous strain on the company. Musk invested much of his own personal wealth to keep Tesla operating. Eventually, he became chief executive officer and led the company through a period of restructuring and growth. Tesla later introduced the Tesla Model S in 2012, which received widespread praise for its performance, safety, and innovative touchscreen interface. The success of the Model S helped establish Tesla as a serious competitor in the automobile industry. In 2017, the company launched the more affordable Tesla Model 3, designed to bring electric vehicles to a much wider market. Demand for the Model 3 surged globally, marking a turning point in the acceptance of electric cars. By combining cutting-edge battery technology, software integration, and direct sales models, Tesla forced many traditional automobile manufacturers to accelerate their own electric vehicle programs. What began as a risky startup had grown into one of the most influential companies in the modern automotive industry, expanding the future. Elon Musk's ambitions did not end with electric cars and space rockets. Over time, he expanded his entrepreneurial efforts into several new technological fields that he believed could reshape human civilization. One of these ventures is Neuralink. Founded in 2016, Neuralink focuses on developing advanced brain-computer interface technology that could allow the human brain to communicate directly with computers. The long-term goal of the project is to treat neurological conditions such as paralysis, spinal cord injuries, and certain brain disorders by implanting tiny electronic devices into the brain. Neuralink engineers have worked on creating ultra-thin threads that can be inserted into the brain by robotic systems designed to minimize damage to neural tissue. Musk has also suggested that such technology could eventually allow humans to interact with artificial intelligence systems more efficiently, although this remains a subject of ongoing research and debate. Another venture launched by Musk in 2016 is the Boring Company. The company was created to address urban traffic congestion by constructing underground transportation tunnels beneath major cities. Musk proposed that networks of tunnels could allow high-speed electric vehicles to move passengers quickly without interfering with surface traffic. The Boring Company has already built test tunnels in Las Vegas, where the Las Vegas Convention Center loop transports visitors between exhibition halls using electric vehicles produced by Tesla. The project demonstrates Musk's continuing interest in integrating multiple technologies, such as tunneling engineering, electric vehicles, and automated transport systems. In 2020, Musk expanded his influence into social media by acquiring Twitter for about $44 billion. Twitter had already become one of the world's most influential digital communication platforms, used by journalists, politicians, businesses, and millions of ordinary users. After completing the acquisition, Musk introduced major organizational and technical changes to the company. In 2023, the platform was officially rebranded as X. Musk has described X as a step toward creating an everything app that could combine social media communication with digital payments, commerce, and other online services. Although these projects differ widely in purpose, they all reveal Musk's persistent willingness to challenge industries that many observers considered already settled. Wealth, controversy, and influence. As companies such as Tesla and SpaceX grew rapidly during the 2010s and early 2020s, Elon Musk's personal wealth increased dramatically. Much of his fortune came from his shareholding in Tesla, whose stock price rose sharply as investors became more confident in the future of electric vehicles and renewable energy technologies. According to annual rankings published by Forbes, Musk has repeatedly appeared at or near the top of the global list of the world's richest individuals. At certain points, his estimated net worth exceeded $200 billion, placing him among the wealthiest entrepreneurs in modern history. Despite these achievements, Musk's career has also been marked by controversy and intense public debate. As a highly visible business leader, he frequently communicates directly with millions of followers on social media platforms, often sharing opinions on technology, politics, and business strategy. Some of his public statements have attracted criticism from regulators, investors, and commentators. For instance, his 2018 social media comments regarding the potential privatization of Tesla drew the attention of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which later reached a settlement with Musk over the matter. The episode illustrated how closely Musk's public communication is scrutinized by financial authorities and market observers. Musk's leadership style has also generated debate within the business community. Former employees and industry analysts frequently describe his approach as intensely demanding, with extremely high expectations for speed and innovation. Musk himself has often stated that he believes major technological breakthroughs require relentless effort and a willingness to take enormous risks. Regardless of these controversies, the influence of his companies is widely recognized. Tesla accelerated the global transition toward electric vehicles, while SpaceX transformed the aerospace industry by demonstrating the economic advantages of reusable rocket technology, the dream of Mars. Among all of Elon Musk's ambitions, perhaps the most dramatic is his long-term vision of establishing human life beyond Earth. Through SpaceX, he has repeatedly emphasized the importance of making humanity a multi-planet species. Musk argues that expanding human civilization beyond Earth could help safeguard the future of the species in case of global catastrophes such as natural disasters, climate crises, or other existential threats. This idea has guided many of SpaceX's most ambitious engineering projects. To achieve this goal, the company is developing a fully reusable spacecraft system known as Starship. Starship is designed to be one of the most powerful launch vehicles ever constructed. The system consists of a massive booster rocket and a spacecraft capable of carrying both cargo and large numbers of passengers into space. Unlike traditional rockets, which are discarded after a single launch, Starship is intended to land and be reused repeatedly, dramatically reducing the cost of space travel. SpaceX has been testing Starship at its large launch facility in Boca Chica near the company's Starbase site. The spacecraft is expected to support missions to Earth orbit, the Moon, and eventually Mars. Musk often describes the possibility of building a self-sustaining city on Mars that could house thousands of people in the distant future. Although such plans remain technically and financially challenging, they represent one of the most ambitious visions in the history of space exploration. The legacy of an unconventional billionaire. The story of Elon Musk is not simply a story about personal wealth. It is fundamentally about an entrepreneur driven by the belief that technology can radically transform the future of civilization. From his early childhood in Pretoria to his leadership of some of the world's most influential technology companies, Musk has consistently pursued projects that aim to reshape entire industries rather than merely improve existing systems. His companies have played key roles in several major technological shifts of the early 21st century. Tesla has accelerated the adoption of electric vehicles and advanced battery technology. SpaceX has dramatically lowered the cost of launching satellites and spacecraft through reusable rocket systems. Other ventures, such as Neuralink and the Boring Company, explore new possibilities in medicine, infrastructure, and transportation. Even his acquisition of the social media platform X reflects his broader ambition to reshape digital communication and financial interaction. Like many influential innovators in history, Musk remains a highly polarizing figure. Supporters often describe him as a visionary entrepreneur willing to tackle problems that others avoid, while critics question some of his management methods and public statements. Yet regardless of these differing perspectives, few observers deny the scale of his impact. The trajectory from a book-loving child fascinated by science fiction to the leader of companies designing rockets, electric cars, and advanced technologies illustrates the unpredictable nature of modern entrepreneurship. In the broader narrative of 21st century innovation, Elon Musk has become one of the most recognizable and debated figures of his generation.